everybody? Welcome back to an episode of the PT Post-Mortem Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Swaggy Dr. Kush, and it wouldn't be the podcast if I wasn't with the other host, Mr. Doctor. How we doing, Doc?
I mean, I'm doing good. It's pushing about 7 p.m. The UFC Pipe Patch has just dropped. I'm interested to see where it goes, but we'll discuss that a bit later on in this podcast. So, yeah, I mean, I'm doing good. Yourself, Swag?
Good. I'm doing good. You did mention the patch. The patch came out today. I haven't touched it yet. Excited to go in and touch about it, but we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough assessment. To see how this changed, see how it affects the upcoming card as well at PT21. But before we talk about PT21 and how that card's going to look, and if we're going to see a Bryce Mitchell or maybe a Joe Pyfer being picked, let's have a glance back at our previous card of PT120. This had the main event of Fad versus Druids, the co-main of Smudger versus Vuck, which was a 5-round number 1 contender fight. But the prelims are up first, and the first fight that kicked us all off for the night, which was a wild fight, honestly, because it ended in doctor stoppage, was Los Got Jugo versus Bifat Bacante.
The first doctor stoppage in primetime history, right?
No. I feel like we've had other doctor stoppages. But I don't know.
I think that was the first doctor stoppage. I could be wrong.
I mean, you could be right. You could be wrong. We'll have to look back in our history books. I mean, there's only been a certain handful of cars, so definitely something to look back on to. But yeah, as I was on comms for this fight as well. I was on comms for the entire card. Kante came out with a really interesting style. I think is the best way to describe it, because he literally only used to lead hook. That was it. He just lead hooked his opponent to death over and over again. And the Kevin Lee pick from Lost Got Jugo looked good. He looked really well sophisticated. He looked like he had a lot of ideas, but Kante just really held down simplicity. And yeah.
Well, Kante is coming out of that BFAP camp now,
Indeed.
So Kante is getting a lot of good work. There's legends over there like Trixie and Zayaf, so he's getting work in with the really top of the top. And yeah, I expect Conte to do big things for the remainder of the season. Definitely expect him to be in the Grand Prix.
For sure. I mean, he did also beat the number 18 pot, so yeah, looking into that top 15, looking for that new JP, which we're like 4 cards now, including this one this week, until we hit the end of the season, and then the top 15 and the champion will be stuck into a GP to then compete for the PT title for season 2. So that's
we're coming up.
Yeah, we're definitely coming up for that. So I mean, going on from that, you had AKA Josh versus Verstal. This fight was a Lawler versus Dana White. Verstal as Lawler and Josh as Dana White. There was a bit of controversy between these two in the fights chat, if I remember correctly, because of they were umming about picks, because I think Josh was originally intending to use Jack and Manson, looking for that grappling approach, but he went, no, I want to strike, let me go Dana White, and I'll just strike you. And Verstal let him. It was kind of a risky move, because Dana White does have a 99 chin, so you've got to imagine that was maybe a calculated plan, because Verstal, I don't really think wanted to wrestle here tonight.
Yeah, so I don't know what was going on with this fight. It was a really good fucking fight, but it looked like Josh came in to try to do one thing and ended up kind of doing a completely other thing.
Nah, I mean, sometimes that's the way it goes. Sometimes it really is just you have this idea leading up to a fight, and then suddenly you get into the fight and it's like, no, this isn't a good idea, this isn't what I want to be doing, and so instead I'm just gonna strike. Or maybe sometimes it happens, it's fight IQ, it's sometimes you just don't want to do a certain aspect of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends how your opponent comes out too. Your opponent can come out a certain way, and then you can just drop the gameplay and just throw it out the window.
Indeed. Following night, another PS fight. We're going to quickly run through these. Not the thing. The prelims this week were very much intriguing. There's a lot of good names, but the main card is where you really get into that juicy aspect. So you had Chaz versus Croxy. Chaz became 3-0. He did a really good job there. Fantastic use, and breaking into that now, top 15 or so, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a really good part. Expect to be higher up on the prelims, pushing towards that main card, especially as we both mentioned already. End of the season. That's where these fights start to get really interesting. That's why the main card is such an important time. Playboy Dro versus TYR. That went to Playboy Dro. He put an impressive performance. That was at bantamweight as well, which is a very difficult weight as time goes on because so many fighters are becoming more and more that 4.5 star. Proxer versus Eagle. Eagle. Honestly, I don't have a bad word to say about Eagle. He's a really interesting grappler. I'm really loving how he's looking. Is I think the easy way to say it.
So you have been given Proxer very high praise the last couple of weeks. And Eagle's always been my guy. Coming into this fight, I was confused and I actually didn't know who to pick, but Eagle coming on top makes sense now. I am a professional, so I should have chosen Eagle last week. However, Eagle's a dog. Eagle got that dog in him. Woof, woof. He's always letting it out in the cage, and he shows it in different ways. He's ferocious anywhere, on the ground, on the cage, in the cage, on the canvas, wherever. He's dangerous. He's a dog, and Eagle came out with the dub, and he looked good doing it.
Yep, for sure. Following that fight, though, you did have Dave versus Boss Man. Ooh, this is a fight and a half. So, Boss Man. It's Boss Man, I think, the way he comes. He comes out here, he's 3-1 on that +2 record, just outside of that top 15. He knows to score, he knows how to fight. He's looking to knock your head off. He's part of the FSK camp, and his opponent in that octagon on Saturday was AKA Dave, and Dave is apparently just on a different level that he's unable to beat Boss Man. I mean, maybe it's the Dave's normal style of he's going to be consistent one week, not consistent the next. If they get rebooked, maybe it happens differently. It could all happen. You never know.
I actually think this is my fault. About 2-3 weeks ago, I said that Dave was on a +4, and I said Dave usually wins 5, loses 5, so he's gonna win this week. I think he started his losing streak a little early because I believe he's on a -2 now.
Yeah, he would be on a -2.
Since I've said that has not won, I believe I have cursed Dave.
You cursed Dave.
I think Dave has the Swaggy curse right now, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to get out of it. I don't know how to release it. So I'm sorry, Dave. I will never say that about anybody else in primetime, though, because I don't want to curse y'all. So, my bad, Dave. My bad. This one's on me.
Swaggy, sorry.
This one's on me. Just keep doing you. You might come back. Who knows?
Mean, Dave has typically come back. He's always done good. Yeah, okay, he's had a bit of inconsistency, but when he is on, he's on, and he has got wins over the likes of Mix-Ups, and Mix-Ups is probably one of the more tricky fighters within the Xbox division in just terms of styles, usually the way he dirty boxes and the use of the clinch. So, I mean, the fact Dave's got a win over Mix-Ups like that's an impressive factor as well. So, yeah, I fully believe Dave's going to be back. I think Bossman's a very, very tough fight, and arguably most likely shouldn't have been ranked 16, but because of the way you have to work your way up, because we give people the unaired, you earn your fights and stuff, and that's the process you go through. Yeah. That Bossman's always been one of those competitors who's always been arguably within that top 10 placement, typically.
Yeah, Bossman's weird.
You said it, not me. So, I mean, from that, we end up into the top of the prelims. So this is our featured prelim of the night, which I'm not quite sure if this is your PS Gatekeeper, but I know for certain it's Jay Dimes, and maybe we should get him on here one time just to chat some utter shit about people. But
Don't even fucking say it. Don't even say the fucking name I think you're about to say.
well, if you don't know, now you know. His name is Ripe. Apparently, he's the gatekeeper. Although others will say otherwise, including myself. Ripe's a brilliant talent. He's 5-3 on that -2. He's having a bit of difficulty, but again, he's always in that top 15. He's always coming out. And this week, he fought against a man who made his name off of a loss, which says a lot about the fight that he had, and that was not nasty. Now, this guy has fought Brazil Lucas, who we will discuss a bit earlier, who fought CV. He arguably made his name off of that fight, I think is the easiest way to say it, Swaggy, if you would agree. And then he's won. He's got another win back. Now he's in ranked 14. He's looking to get a win over that Ripe, and he did so, and he did it in a very impressive fashion, all things considered.
I have a favor to ask. You have been, I feel Ripe's pain. Give Ripe a bum. Give Ripe a bum. You have been having Ripe fight these dogs. Ripe has proven himself. Give him a bum. Give him a bum to let him feel confident. Give him me.
Are there any bums?
Give him me.
I mean, he's got to get down to your ranking then, Swaggy.
Man, giving me all these dogs too, Doc. That's why I can't get up. I'm the unaired gatekeeper in Doc's eyes. He's talking gatekeepers right now. I'm the unaired gatekeeper. He's giving me all these fucking...
It's not my fault the entire division's filled with killers. Everybody I see is a killer in some form or way. The fact it's so difficult to get off the unaired sometimes is a statement enough of that.
If you hate Doc, say yes, Swaggy. I agree with you. I hate Doc in the comments. Just blow the comments out of proportion right now.
Wow.
Fucking do it. Agree with me. Wow. However, I love and I hate you. I can't believe
I'm getting this abuse of you, Swag.
Nothing against Not Nasty. I've said it week in and week out. Not
He's
Nasty.
Part of the WR camp as well.
He is nasty.
I think he recently joined the WR camp.
He is disgusting. This man. He's so good. He's so good. But Ripe is good too, and Ripe has just been fighting killers week in and week out, and I think that Ripe just needs a break. Ripe just needs a timeout. Ripe Ripe has been hanging out in my streams with me, watching me do my thing, and I think that might be the reason Ripe
happened. He's been watching you and learnt the Swaggy way. And that's
some
what's
spinning
happened.
elbows and shit. Don't throw those if you're not me or Rolling Thunder.
He's gone the same way as Rolling Thunder.
Don't do it. Ripe will come back. Ripe will be a PlayStation champion this year. Not this season. Maybe not next season.
Well, he's got 4 cards to come back and maybe get in that title shot. But yeah, most likely it will be. You know what? I think he was in the #1 contender for the champion belt at PT 100.
Oh.
Well, like, Ripe's always...
Against Vuck.
Yeah, against Vuck. Ripe's always been there. Like, I mean, so he's now on the -3. He's probably ranked around that 20th mark, 15 to 20. But yeah, as you said, never count this guy up. He's in that range where I think, as Swaggy would say, he would now be fighting a bum, arguably. But again, even in those divisions, as you've seen time after time, you have killer after killer. You have versatile around the rank 20, 23. You had Josh at 20 last week.
You sent me the rankings the other day. I was looking at them, like all the way to 30 on PlayStation. It's killers, and this just like reiterates what I say about the PlayStation division. Why it's so much stronger than the Xbox division? Because in the Xbox division, you got the same 10 killers every season doing that thing, but in PlayStation, it slowly wraps around. Like one season you got this killer doing his thing. The next season he's gonna be just a normal bum. Like around 25 to 30.
I mean, it is kind of interesting to see the difference in the divisions because of, I mean, I'm not going to lie, given MG's previous records within previous seasons, he's never been someone who's kind of strayed outside of that 10 to 15 mark. But then suddenly he's gone on a run and he's got the championship belt and he beat the PlayStation Go. It's The PS division as an Xbox player confuses the living hell out of me to the point I don't quite understand, which
That's
makes
what I'm
for
saying.
both a great watch because you never quite know what's going to go on, but
Exactly.
but you also are kind of sad because you see all these names and all these good goated names that you get used to watching, who you understand their style on the Xbox side, but then you see nobody else coming in to really mix it up. I think the last time you possibly saw it, at least off the top of my head, and I'm very well could be very, very wrong here, is, I mean, my brain's just looked at a name, Mazzy. Mazzy's definitely chucked it out, but Ali and Easy Work back in the late stage of the UFC 4 were the two big names that really started to make waves. But now, now actually looking at the main card here, from PT 120, you got K-Got Bills, Mazzy, Warrior, Attican making his return, this time though on the Xbox side, and Nasnim's also come out of the woodworks finally, which is nice to see. Staring at
You're
the
talking wait, what fight are you on right now? You just talked about like 5 different fights.
I was just listing them off in terms of like the new people within the Xbox side. You're going in those top rankings because we were talking about how like the PS division's always flipping about, whilst the Xbox division stays fairly stagnant in terms of who's competing.
Yes, but
I've just named like about 5 different people who are like
no. But my whole point is like none of those guys are beating Fatinator. And
I mean, Frosty,
prove me wrong.
Frosty,
prove me wrong.
Frosty.
No. I'm not talking about Frosty.
I mean, Frosty came out of bloody nowhere, though, mate.
Talking about Frosty. Frosty's an OG. Frosty's one of my goats.
Yeah,
Frosty almost beat Fatinator, and Frosty's gonna be back.
Yeah, I know. I hope so.
Not to me.
I really hope so.
I told y'all that was gonna happen.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Swaggy, the head media analyst. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
No. You made a joke, and then suddenly you went instantly really quiet and silent because you were just like, oh no, I'm going to have Fad in my DMs. That's what happened.
And that's why I'm being real careful with what I'm about to say. Because Fatinator's my guy.
Oh, okay.
Fad's my goat. Fad's always in the DMs, right?
You sure Fad's
Yeah. After Romero beat the dog shit out of me, Fad checked on me.
I'm pretty sure
Fad checked in on my health.
Is Frosty not your guy?
Hey, Frosty's my guy too, but Frosty didn't check on me after Romero smashed me around the map for 6 minutes, man. So, however, going into it, like I was saying, none of those people are beating Fatinator. Prove me wrong.
Maybe Frosty.
Prove me wrong.
Frosty nearly did.
But every season, what do we see? Who's back? Who just beat Nasnim? Who's back? Trixie's back. Trixie has a chance. Every season.
Trixie,
every
season. Motherfucking Xbox GOAT, the man who's had the longest title reign in PT history.
Don't worry, Fad. I didn't call Trixie the GOAT. That was Doc. that was Doc.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fad's basically near on there. I'm not going to even lie. He's 9-0. If he gets to the end of this season, what would he go? He would go. He'll be 10-0 if he wins. He's fairly close. I think he's like a couple wins off. He would have the longest win streak in a season, I'm pretty sure.
And wants that record. He's coming for it.
I know. I know he does.
However, let's get back on track.
Yeah, let's get back on track.
We can talk about this when we talk about the main card.
The main card? Yeah,
we were on K-Got Bills versus Mozzie.
So this fight, so if you don't know, you will now. So should we have a quick rundown of K-Got Bills? Because we have previously discussed this man before. He's been on suspension. He's come back, and this man got
1.5 stars. Another beautiful call by media analyst Swaggy. Shout out Lucky.
It was
shout out Lucky. He rates all the fights.
Shout out Lucky. I mean, he also helps run half of these events.
Yes, he does. Yeah. And thank you for also proving my point, Lucky. That I'm always right. I'm never wrong.
About what?
That fight was terrible.
How is it terrible? A guy got subbed in 1 round. How is that a bad fight?
Listen, we knew somebody was getting subbed.
I mean, Kay got Bills having a 1.5-star performance, I can get. But Mazzy, like, Mazzy having the fight done in, like, what happened was Kay got Bills shot a takedown, ended up in the full guard of Mazzy. Mazzy got 2 triangle chokes back to get, and that was that and that.
Yeah, it's over. It was all on the ground. Exactly what I said. Maybe it wasn't terrible. But it was exactly what I said.
It wasn't stagnant. It wasn't boring. There was 2 sub attempts, and Mazzy got them both. He pulled it off, and he executed perfectly. And I think Mazzy's going to be the new BJJ artist kicking about a place.
Here's my question for Mozzie. Not for Mozzie, for you, about Mozzie.
Oh, okay.
As Mozzie's competition starts to get hard here. Because he's going to have a tough challenge next, I'm assuming.
Yeah, most likely. I don't know. I can't remember.
Way tougher than...
I mean, he may be booked. Or no, I don't believe he's booked. I believe he was originally booked, but then had to pull out. So his current fight is yes. So to quickly discuss that, he was originally booked to fight Driz this week, but he's pulled out, and so instead, I think we've ended up with Driz versus Frosty, which is the fight we'll get onto in a bit. So going back to that fight,
I like that fight. So Mozzie's resume doesn't impress me.
He's got Ginge. Yeah, that's not going to impress you.
He's got fucking Ginger. He's got Ginger.
Because you hate Ginge. Shush.
No, I don't hate Ginge. I just
do hate Ginge.
Ginger's skill level has dropped significantly. That's all I'm saying. He was a champion at one point.
Now,
UFC 4, he was a champion. Now
he held the title. He held the PS title.
I don't think he could break into the top 16 right now if he was trying his hardest.
Your opinion? I'm pretty sure he has.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ginger has actually broke into the top 16 at one point.
He's not going to finish the season, is what I'm saying, in top 16, which matters. Because he's listen, okay. I'm always right.
No, you're not.
Ginger's washed. He needs to put work in.
You thought Mix-Up
Mozzie, on the other hand, Mozzie has been showing...
Mix-Up was going to beat Fad, and Fad won.
I said Mix-Ups was going to beat Fad?
Was it me? It may have been me, actually. Oh, don't worry.
I think that was you, and that just drives my point even further.
What were you saying?
All I'm saying is, I just think that Mozzie needs a huge name on his resume to impress me. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, There's a few names kicking about. I mean, he's entered that. He's on the +3 from being ranked number 11. He's definitely within that top 5 now. So he's going to have a tough challenge within the next couple of weeks when he signs up again. So yeah, I mean, I like him. I mean, as much as people may not like the grappling style, I enjoy it. But from one submission artist, we go to the next, which was CV versus Brazil Lucas, which has to be the weirdest, wackiest, what the fuck fight I've ever seen in my existence. Considering Brazil Lucas came out about a fight ago, pulling off fucking absolute insanity on the mat. And he came out here this week with Izzy Adesanya versus one of the greatest star-studded strikers in the PS roster right about now. Against CV.
Yeah, so...
yeah, that explains it all, to be honest.
Bad decision.
Understatement.
Now, I have been trying my hardest to not want to see the downfall of CV. And
why?
And CV is on a very impressive...
What has CV done to you?
He ignores me.
Wow. You want to see his downfall because he's too busy getting ready for fights.
Fuck them fights. So CV's on a really impressive win streak right now, and I really do. Yeah, I really do believe that CV will be in title contention real soon.
For sure.
That's when it gets scary. That's when it gets scary. You know, Smudger got his belt back, and
you end up with CV. Yeah, no, that's
well, he didn't get it back yet. I'm assuming he'll get it back. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about him, but He'll be back.
And then Warrior versus Anakin.
Oh God. I don't want to talk ill, but I've got to admit, to see someone throwing a lead overhand into spinning back fist does make you feel something. I felt sorry for Warrior. I think it's the easiest way to say. Warrior's a very straightforward, simplistic boxer who just wants to walk forward, throw some stuff, land the shots, do some normal combos. Attican was known on the pit. It was one of our first PS champs, and he was kind of the same way as he plays now. He just throws stuff, see what sticks. He does it. He just causes havoc, and that was kind of the way the fight worked. It very much felt like Warrior was going one way, and Attican went, "No, I'm going to be chaos. I'm literally going to nick Kobe's name and just go chaotic," which included lead overhand into spinning backfish, which did also get him the win, which is weird to say, but
really like his fight style.
yeah, I figured you would. It's very Rolling Thunder-esque.
It's chaotic and it's swaggy-ish.
It's controlled chaos, I think is the best way to describe it.
And he does things that Doc is like, that's weird.
That's his weirdo behavior, yes.
But that combo is actually very similar to my straight spinning elbow uppercut combo. You know, like you wouldn't think about these combos, but they work.
Yeah, that's also a weirdo combo.
Yeah, you get into it straight, spinning elbow, uppercut, rocks them every time. However, you don't think about these things unless you're insane. And that's why I like Attican, because he's definitely crazy.
He has the swag style, yes, he does.
I like the way he fights. And he got the big dub. He's been getting dubs.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting weird. He's been getting dubs. I like it. I'm impressed.
You're gonna love his fight this week, then.
Vanio versus SVG Goated.
I can't remember who won this fight.
Vanio.
How did he win it? I've genuinely blanked on it. I don't understand how.
I have no idea, but if I had to guess, if I had to put my life on it, something to do with block breaking.
I mean, he won last week by grappling. He won by sub last week.
Oh, yeah. You were in the booth.
Yeah, I know I was in the booth, and I should know this.
It's all that weed.
How have I blanked it?
Gotta put the bong down, Doc.
I apologize, Go, and I apologize, Vanio. I'm really confused how I've done that. Well, oh, I've just pressed the wrong button. That's going to be fun. Okay, apologies, ladies and gentlemen, on that. Slight misclick. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Vanio won. It looks like it was a good fight due to Lucky's ratings.
Yeah, apparently my mind has. That's not anything on your fight. That really isn't. That's my mind literally blanking there. It's been a long week. It's been a long week.
I'm pretty sure it was a striking exchange.
Yeah, I imagine it would be. Goated is one of those people who I can imagine keeping on the feet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So
I was like slightly watching
moment of awkwardness. Naz
versus Goat was a weird fight.
Naz made his return.
Not weird, but it was a good fight.
I mean, any fight with Goat is a weird fight. It's Goat.
And Naz, you've added in
you've added two very weird fighters overall. Let's be honest here. Like, it's not an insult. I mean, Attican's is his own separate weird. Like Attican, so you have a scale. Attican's about here. Naz and Goat are about here. And that's really about it. I know, Swaggy, you can't see my camera. There's about a 10 centimeter difference between the two. Yeah, that's to be expected.
Yeah, Naz came out on top in that one. And say I'm happy to see Goat lose, but Goat was winning a lot
until he wasn't.
And I'm happy to see him kind of brought back to, reality here.
Well, Gut was on a +4, 4-1 on number 5, and then lost to the guy who's number 3, so it's not a bad loss.
No, it's not a bad loss at all, but Goat can kind of go back to the drawing board now because he was starting to get a little sloppy. He can go back to the drawing board and really come back.
Well, I mean,
tight.
most of it was due to him forming that striking style because he started making his run with Robin, if I'm not mistaken. He beat Robin with Nick Diaz very early on in the prelims, because that's how stacked that card was. Both of them were on the prelims. So Goat was starting to throw his hands. His next fight, he went to that more grappling approach. And then the fight after that, I think he used a mixture of both. And then this fight kind of went that both ways and which, and Naz managed to take the fight there as well. So.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it happened. And then moving forward, we got Naznim versus Trixie, and Trixie's here to put on shows. Trixie's here to make statements.
This was
Trixie's
too close
here
for my liking. This was too
for
close.
that Xbox belt.
Like, if you
but
Naznim
don't like to lose.
Yeah, no, Nazim doesn't like to lose. But I'm gonna say this, and I don't know how true this is, and I think you'll completely disagree. And also, Trixie knows how much I love seeing him fight. Unlike Naz, who's actually got a video of the differences between the way I react. It's kind of funny. I didn't realize. Sorry. But it felt like that fight shouldn't have been as close as it did, and I don't know if that's because Trixie has been off for so long and everybody else has caught up, or Naznim has just got her better. Did you know?
Are you? They're both in the same camp, dummy. No shit, it's gonna be a close fight. They fucking spar all the time.
It was too close, in my opinion, though.
Yeah, but they fucking spar all the time. No shit, it's gonna be a close fight. They're in the same camp. Dude, we literally saw that between Fad and Driz. Driz almost beat Fad a couple times.
Did he?
Yes.
I feel like Fad had a closer fight with Frosty, though. Compared to the Frosty fight, Driz got murdered. And I was expecting, like, Driz to, like, arguably win the belt, but Frosty...
Are you pranking me?
No.
Am I being pranked?
No, I'm being serious.
This is crazy.
I'm crazy.
The Driz fight... No, Driz won a couple of those rounds. And I'm pretty sure Driz got finished.
Yeah, Driz did get finished.
In the fourth round?
Something like that.
But there were moments that were like, oh shit.
Yeah, but nothing anywhere near as close as between Frosty and Fad.
Not close to the Frosty fight.
No,
but I'm trying to make the comparison that they're team members. So it's gonna be like you're gonna know.
Yeah, but even then, I feel like Driz should have been able to. Like, I think Driz. I arguably thought out of all the people who could have beaten Fad, so far today, outside of the unexpected win with Frosty and the weird middleweight fight with mix-ups, Driz had the best chance going into it. And yet he didn't seem to.
Driz didn't have the best chance going into it. They're the same camp, so I knew it was going to be a decent fight because you can always expect that.
It was a good fight.
But Driz doesn't have that
dog in him, like Frosty.
Driz doesn't have that dog in him. Like Driz got a little bit of a dog in him, but he don't got that full up. Like he don't got the bark. Like he definitely don't be sitting there with the controller in hand, like woof woof. Like that. That's what most of these guys be doing. So
basically,
Frosty barks when he plays. Frosty definitely barks when he plays. Frosty got that dog in him. He can't help it. Frosty, I mean, he might wear the dog mask too. That might be why he plays extra better. But like, I'm telling you right now, on a Frosty Driz comparison, Driz, you probably a cool guy.
Okay,
Frosty
then.
better.
So what dog
But
is
that's
Fad?
not the comparison we're making.
Okay.
We're saying that the Naznim and Trixie fight was so close because they're both the same camp.
Yeah,
and you're taking away from Naznim here. Because Naznim is a very talented individual that has been putting on spectacles.
I mean, this is his first season. This is though his first season where he's proved that. I would argue.
And his only loss is against Trixie. You're Xbox Go. What's the problem with that being a close fight? Same camp. Same camp. was literally undefeated till what's the problem?
You point to him. I feel like I'm gonna get stabbed by you at some point. So Jesus. Yeah. Okay. You point to him, mate. I love you too. Yeah. Point to me, mate. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, so before we go on to the co-main event, I've got a question now because you were talking about dogs. If Fad was a dog, what dog would he be?
I feel like Doc is like a hybrid between like. Now hear me out. This is gonna sound crazy fucked up when I say it, but you just gotta hear me out. You gotta hear me out. He's like a combo between like a greyhound, cause he's fast, a bloodhound, cause he can sniff out what you're doing, and a chihuahua, cause he's mad nice, right? He mad nice with it, like
Chihuahuas
with it, like
aren't nice.
he mad nice with it, right? They're nice looking. He mad nice with it. Like
No, they're not. They're ugly looking creatures.
Nah, they are. I would punt a chihuahua. Peter, don't come for me. But like he nice with it. So I would go chihuahua, greyhound, bloodhound combo. You know, hybrid right there.
If I'm Fad, I'm probably really offended you just compared me to one of the smallest dogs possible, of a fucking chihuahua.
I compared him. Greyhounds are huge.
Greyhounds and bloodhounds fine, but chihuahua?
It wouldn't be the size of a chihuahua. It would just have the woof woof. It would have the bark.
Oh my god, I regret asking.
He's fierce.
Okay.
He's fierce. He's just like, he's nice with it. He's nice with it.
I regret asking the question.
Fashionable.
You know? Okay.
Like a fashionista in the cage. That's what he is. Fashionisto. That's what he is in the cage.
I've got no words. I've got 0 words. Absolutely.
Smudger showed why he's my PlayStation GOAT. Smudger,
like, so if you didn't see the fight, Smudger beat Vuck by sidestepping and head kick. That was it. Sidestep, head kick, done. In the second round, a fairly close first round. It was, I believe, Cheeto versus Sandhagen. I think it was.
Yeah.
Or was it Yan? I think it was
Sugar got banned, I think.
Yeah, I think Sugar got banned. Sandhagen. 5-round fight, could have gone on 5, but instead, Smudger showed why he's one of the goats of the PS outside of the one loss to MG, which he was trying to get back this week, but times have changed and stuff's happened, but we'll discuss it in a second. Yeah, I mean, he looked really good across the board. He looked like he was ready to come back and cause some chaos there as well, Swag.
Yeah, man, that was a really good fight. I talked to Smudger leading up to it, and Smudger was like ready. He was excited to get back in there. He really wanted gold, but you know, he was willing to take this fight. He just wanted the fight. And he came out and he proved why he's that guy. I don't know what's happening this week with him, but I do expect him to have the title back as soon as he gets an opportunity.
No, I mean, Smudge is definitely... He did win number 1 contender, so there's definitely an argument for him to have the next shot. We'll have to see how the division looks, what are the next fights, and if he's still in position to take that title, which I'd imagine he would be, all things considered, but it may have to wait a bit or maybe slightly delayed. We'll work something out, and those discussions will be had between staff closer to the time. We have also discussed the main event just briefly. I mean, Fad had a war with Driz and won the fight. I think it's the simplest way to say it.
Yeah, no, it was a really good fight. Oh, fatty the baddie. You know, he just always comes out on top. And I truly believe, prove me wrong, that nobody in the Xbox division is gonna touch him. He's gonna very clearly break the record. Like, he's got 9 more fights and breaks the record. Or 10 more fights.
No, I mean, I feel like the record's
he's
22.
10-0. Oh, the record's 22, so he's got 13 more fights.
Yeah, I believe the record is 22, but it was across 2 seasons. So I feel like it's somewhere around 22. I think if he wins this next one, or maybe the one afterwards, I think he currently holds the record for the longest win streak. I could be wrong. which I think is maybe about 13 before he lost to Trixie at the end of UFC 4 or something like that. I can't remember. It was something. It was a weird number like that. So yeah, I mean he's definitely there. I mean Fad's the number one. We arguably should make a Hall of Fame at some point in the near future because there's definitely at least 3 names who deserve it, and definitely a couple more that can be considered.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this week's card.
Yeah, so let's get straight to the top of the card just because this is the most different in terms of what was originally planned. So we'd have mentioned that Smudger would have taken the belt. So he not taken the belt, but he did win the number one contender and would have been that title fight. But Smudger sadly had to pull out. So we did originally have booked on the card was Versatile versus Naz. Naz was 5-0, Versatile on that +4. So Naz got the spot. Versatile is having a break this week. If there's a replacement needed, he'll happily step in. I had that discussion with him. So yeah, that will be worked out nearer the time. But that does mean you end up with MG versus Naz at welterweight. Can I just mention that the weight Smudger originally picked before he had to pull out was heavyweight? So I'm really sad we don't get to see MG versus Smudger at heavyweight, but instead we do get to see MG versus Naz at welterweight here. Would you like to know the picks?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess?
Did either of them pick 4 stars, or are they both?
I think one's a 4-star.
Naz picked Connor.
There you go. Okay.
That's fucking picked Connor in a fucking title fight in welterweight.
I mean, Connor's a fair enough pick. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've seen Fad pick Connor at welterweight and
yeah, of course
lightweight.
we have. He's Fadinator. Nothing against Naz. And MG picked Leon.
No.
Shavkat?
No.
Alter Ego Robbie?
No. Who's the big one you missed?
Usman?
Yep. How do you feel about it?
If MG wrestles, he could win, but it's Naz, so like I don't know.
Yeah, and no, I don't know either.
Naz's fight style is like very Connor-esque. Like, like if he's fighting with Connor, like he gets to use his fight style to the full ability because he literally plays this game like Conor McGregor fights. He's really good with Conor McGregor all across the board, and Naz is just good to begin with. But I don't know how he stacks up against MG because MG's had an extra week to prepare. All the AKA boys have been active, so he's getting good spars in. He's probably working for this one, and he's probably planning to wrestle Usman versus Connor. And I just don't know because of Connor's grappling if Naz will be able to overcome the grappling of Usman. Usman does kind of have trash guard and trash submissions, but his wrestling overall is good, and he can get that ground and pound damage, which can weaken you on the feet, and he does have pretty good striking. So because of the matchups, I'm favoring MG, but I also feel like I'm doubting myself a little bit because like Naz is such a good fighter. I just don't like his pick against Usman.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely arguably. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a close fight. I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I want to lean Naz, but MG has proven that he is just a bastard.
He beat Smudger for 5 rounds. Yeah.
Exactly. That fight could go either way. The picks, the Usman pick for saying how MG fights using those jab straights. Usman's got one of the best jab straights in the game. That's just the case. McGregor doesn't leave much room to grapple either. So, so it's a striking matchup that Naz is going to have to hope he wins the chin battle early on or wins the stand battle.
It makes for a really exciting fight.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I'm really excited for this co-main too, because Trixie versus Anakin. We were just talking about how Anakin got that dog at him. But Trixie's Doc's Xbox
This
goat.
is
And
genuinely a weird fight to witness. I'm not going to lie. I'm really intrigued. This
they're
is
both 4-0.
Yeah.
Somebody's always got to go.
And the winner of this fight's Fad.
I feel like for the story,
it has to be Trixie.
It has to be Trixie.
But there's something really fun about knowing.
What does Anakin love more than winning? Chaos. He loves chaos. And what would be more chaotic than Anakin starching Trixie and going on to fight Fatinator? What would be more chaotic?
Fad, yeah, no, there's definitely that. No, it's a wild, weird, and wacky fight, and I'm intrigued by how that's going to go. But hey, I think that's sometimes the way it goes. I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to it. That's a killer fight. Glancing down towards the main card, we'll have a quick. We'll quickly go through these until we find one that we want to discuss further. Driz versus Mazzy. Who's winning?
Mazzy in that one. I think that's actually a good fight for Mazzy. That would look pretty nice on his resume. I do have Mazzy in that one if he sticks to grappling.
That's a interesting take. I wouldn't.
I think for his resume, he needs this win.
Yeah, I definitely agree with in terms of resume. He definitely doesn't need.
I think it should be an easy. It should be an easy win for Driz if he keeps it on the feet. Mazzy's wrestling scary though.
Yeah, true.
Can't tell me that grappling's not scary.
Yeah, no, for certain. Given this new sub game and how it works and how Mazzy seems to have really developed it, especially.
And look at his record; he's fucking active, 7-4.
Yeah,
he's been fighting since week 1 and hasn't stopped.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty bloody much. Then you have Vanio versus Eagle, middleweight.
I said it earlier. I got Eagle. Eagle is in NM.
Yeah, Eagle's in MM.
I thought he was a WR.
I believe he was, but he may have then left afterwards.
That is insane. Imagine leaving one dog camp to go to another dog camp. Like the Eagle's got that. Eagle is a dog. Eagle would be just a straight up Rottweiler, honestly.
Oh,
and
apologies actually, because I'm an idiot. It's not Mazzy, is it? It's Frosty. I mentioned this earlier.
That was Driz versus Frosty. That changes everything, cause Frosty's ice cold, baby. Let's go. Frosty's back. Nah, you already know who I got in that one, Doc. You already know who I got in that one. Undefeated. The fans can't remain seated. Frosty, baby, let's go.
Oh my god, we need to get Frosty.
Undefeated. I don't count that loss against Fad. It was so close. I don't count it.
Oh, okay. Where were we? Not Nasty and Chaz, man.
Eagle.
Oh, Eagle.
Oh, not Nasty and Chaz. Chaz is 3-0. I'm not familiar with his work. Who is that?
He made his debut last card on the early program.
Who'd he beat?
He beat WR Coxey.
Name right there. Honestly, already got a decent resume, but not Nasty is indeed nasty.
A complete lie of his name.
Yeah, I think he's just. I don't know. I don't know because I'm not familiar with Chasman's game, so I don't know how this fight's gonna look. I would like to lean on not nasty though. Ooh, mix-ups versus Conti.
Yeah, that's a fight. I think it's the best way to say it. So this fight, I would argue, favours mix-ups. However, given Kante's previous showcase last week, where he walked forward and just drew like lead hooks to work the doctor cut, I can definitely believe Kante will come here into this fight with a game plan, arguably of similar notation, and just come out of nowhere and knock the poor sod out. Like, I can fully believe that.
And I'm about to say something.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
The downfall of mix-ups this season needs to be studied.
He's only on a -2.
He is 7-5. He literally fought for the title belt 2 times.
7-1? Yeah, but what was his record when he...
I think he had at least 6 wins. Maybe 5, but he didn't have 5 losses.
He was 6-2 when he fought Fad the second time.
So one of those losses came from Fad, and then one was in the Grand Prix.
Yeah. Which, I mean, isn't that bad, all things considered. Only 3 of his wins have been... But he's always been also within that top 5.
I said earlier...
Jumping out of that top 5, he's now ranked 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I see Conti winning this one. Because...
But yeah.
I see Conti winning this one. Shout out BFAP. He has been training with dogs over in BFAP, and it shows. It shows. Sure. Iron sharpens iron, and it shows in his last 3 fights. He's on a +3. He's looking good. I think he's got this one.
For sure. So, following that fight, you have before that fight, in fact, we're going down the card, not up the card, you have TYR versus Hayes Fran.
And I got Fran.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Bantamweight fight on the main card, that's going to be maybe O'Malley, possibly a Cheeto, Sandhagen, Marab, Aljo, if they get really bored. But again, I have my own opinions about Aljo on the feet. It's a risky one. I mean, following from that, on the featured prelim, we have Robin versus Proxer. Robin making his return. He's got a couple wins on the unairs after losing to Goat, I believe, then bounced back, and now he's here again.
Proxer lose last week. How's he on a +2? However, I got Robin in this one. Because Robin has to come back and prove himself. Proxer's a big man to prove himself. I think he proves that he's back. And he's indeed not washed. Who said he was washed? Last week? Oh, the week before. J-Dime. J-Dime said Robin was washed. In the booth. Live on PT. Said he was washed. I almost had to fight him. I know Robin's not washed. Well, he's busy kicking ass in real life. You don't got time to sit down and fucking move the sticks.
Yeah, very, very true. I mean, he's busy like doing Muay Thai IRL. I mean,
got respect for that, man.
Yeah, you gotta respect him for doing that. From that fight, you have Scarface versus Warrior. Scarface is from the EK as well, which makes this a kind of interesting fight. Scarface went from EK to KM. He went from an Elite King to a Kingsman. And now he's fighting in the Elite King. Yeah.
Got Warrior.
I've got Scarface personally, but Warrior can definitely bring a war in half.
I think it would be a war.
Yeah. Possible fight than that, honestly.
Amazon versus Kaihan.
Oh god, I love Amazon. I love Amazon only for the fact that he's such a bite on your mouthpiece, walk forward, swing, bang, and clobber your opponent boxing type guy.
You know what this fight does?
What?
You know what this fight does? This fight proves the point that I made earlier, that Doc views me as an unaired gatekeeper. Because my opponent last week was Kaihan. That +1, that's me. That's Swaggy. That's why he's on a +1. I think Kaihan wins this fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's at welterweight. Kaihan's gonna go Connor if he didn't get banned. Probably gonna win this fight. However, Amazon needs to win this fight. He does not want to go 6-6. I know Amazon, and I know he does not want an even record. Like that would piss me off. I know that pisses Amazon off. So Amazon wants to win this fight at any means necessary.
Well, I found the picks. There was a suggestion of Kaihan going Rey Mysterio, but instead they decided to ban McGregor, Amazon is alter ego Leon Edwards, and Kahan is Dana White.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
I don't know what's going on. What is it with all these Dana White picks? Genuinely a bit crazy. So from
I
one
don't know.
fight where we don't know what's going on to one fight where I actually have even less of a clue, we have K-Got Bills versus MBK Optimus JoJo.
Hear me out.
Okay, I'm gonna hear you out.
This fight, I got K-Got Bills laying and praying, not moving for 3 rounds. And he's going to come out with the decision.
John Africa versus the Pug. Who wins? Ah, God. No, on a serious note, yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe. Maybe.
But
However,
JoJo comes from NBK camp, which I have one good thing to say about the NBK camp.
only one?
Only one. The man that runs that camp
Wow.
does have a good all-around game.
Who runs it?
And he has a good all-around game, and he passes it to the other people in the camp. Fuck, who does run it? One of the Shoguns.
There's more than
and
one.
There's like 8, and he passes it through everybody.
Get some new names.
And everybody,
guys. Get some new names.
Everybody in that camp has all-around talent, like everywhere, and they like really diving into like the ins and outs of not just what to do in this game, but like frames in all games, you know. So
oh God, we're
that's
not talking
one
about
thing
frame
that
data, are we? Jesus, bit nuts.
that's one thing that camp does, where they
Yeah.
they really let the intel sink. So JoJo could come out on top and fucking starch K-Got Bills before K-Got Bills even get started. But if K-Got Bills get started, that's just why.
I mean, it's definitely the case of it's striker versus grappler. I can always deny about that. K-Got Bills is wanting to look for the ground and pound, the submissions, on Optimus JoJo most likely will be looking to get a clean KO on the feet. It's featherweight, so there's a lot of different picks you can definitely go. So it's bound to be interesting. I'm going to have a quick gander into their fight chat to see if I could possibly find their picks out. And it seems like K-Got Bills tried to ban Volkanovski when it's only 4 stars. So, yep. Sometimes people make these mistakes. It's a fairly simple card, especially with someone like K-Got Bills, who has, like, for the last few weeks been on that main card spot as well, so sometimes it's easy to forget. Moving on from that fight, you do have John Africa versus Pug. Who's winning?
Well,
John Africa?
yeah, don't make me say that. Like,
Well, don't make
this should be an ass
Pug.
whooping. This should be an ass whooping. I like Pug. I like Pug, and I think Pug is all around talented, but I think John Africa's levels ahead.
This is where Pug comes out and does a hell of a lot more grappling, to be honest, middleweight especially.
I think he should try to grapple John, and if he grapples, he has a better advantage. However, it's John. Like John Africa beats the bottoms, sits in the middle, loses to the top. Like, that's John. Talk shit about all of them and just, makes it through the rankings. That's John. And I think John's too low right now. John usually sits around 10. I think John gets up there. John beats Pug.
Well, I've looked. Apparently, John Africa is going Joe Pfeiffer and Pug is Lawler. So it's going to be a fight of the night war there.
He already picked Joe Pfeiffer.
I believe so, yeah.
He hasn't even been on the game for like an hour. The update just came out.
Yeah, well. Welcome to life.
All right, and then the first fight we got.
This fight is scrap. Just and
I saw in the fight chat.
So this
ping,
is
right?
AK Minhoff versus Regicide Dano Gamer. This fight will not be running on this card due to ping. Simple fact.
Okay.
Minhoff doesn't want to fight 300 plus ping, which is fair enough. Like, that's understandable. We have a rule in place of 150 and above, then you don't have to fight it. You can if you want, but CV versus Lucas played at a relatively high ping compared to most people. Ping is pushing 200 or maybe 300, but they both agreed to do it and they were both happy to do it. So that's fine. But if you don't want to do it, we're not going to force you to do it. And in this case, they don't want to do it, and that's fine. That's sometimes the way it goes, and it happens. And you don't want to fight someone at 300 plus ping due to sometimes. We try to matchmake to the best of our ability. Sometimes this does happen, and so that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Damn, I really wanted to see that fight too. I was kind of
I want to see that fight. It was a good fight, but
however, yeah. So the first fight of the card is actually John versus Pug.
Well, yeah, John versus Pug will be leading the fight, and then from there it's be utter mayhem. Yeah, no, so. That is the rundown of PT 121, the rundown of the post-mortem breakdown of PT 120. Yeah, anything else to mention? I mean, we could talk about the patch, but we haven't played it, so we'll most likely talk about it next week. We've got the new fighters.
No, I don't want to talk about the patch because I haven't played it. I know the new fighters are Bryce Mitchell, Joe Pfeiffer, and Macy Barber. I was talking to Romero a little bit about the patches, so I kind of got some insight on some of the changes, but I haven't been able to play myself yet, so I really don't know what's up. Like once I jump into it and feel it out, I'll know the vibes. Macy Barber does look like Sid from Toy Story. It's crazy.
I do know
not IRL Macy, the in-game Macy. IRL Macy, fine. But game Macy looks like Sid from Toy Story.
I do know that Bryce Mitchell has level 1 uppercuts.
I did hear they ruined Bryce. I'm actually going to go, like, jump right on and try him.
Yeah.
Like,
he doesn't seem too bad, though, all things considered. So, yeah. So, with all that being said, we've been going for, I think, we've just hit the hour mark, like we usually do, about 1 hour, 2 minutes. So, I mean, with all that being said, I've been your host, the Doctor. Breaking the cards down with me today has been Swaggy. If you like what you see, check the description. There's his YouTube and stream link, I believe. We'll be going live at 3:30 Eastern, 3:30 GMT, 8:30. Hang on. I fucked it up. How the hell have I got it wrong? 3:30 Eastern, 8:30 GMT. There we go. Finally got it right. On Saturday at PrimeTime. On Twitch and on YouTube. If you like what you see here so far, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Anything else to add, Mr. Dr. Swaggy Kush?
Things to plug. I just dropped a brand new podcast. Episodes coming out every single Wednesday on my YouTube, Swaggy Dr. Kush. First guest was J Dime. Y'all love J Dime. And this episode comes out today, Thursday. So tomorrow on Friday, I am hosting a Super Bowl Friday Madden tournament. Me, J Dime, and somebody else will be in the booth having a great time. Don't worry, no British people in the booth. We all know the sport. So it'll be a wonderful time. Come stop by. And yeah, I'm also live on Twitch every single day. So come say hello. Unless you're CV, don't come say hi.
Unless you're CV, Jesus. Poor old Mr. CV. So, all the plugs, all the channels, everything all plugged and sorted. With that being said, this has been PT Postmortem. Have a good night.